Hey y'all, it's Natalie, and it's time for my monthly series with my friend Sarah Scraps, and this is called Cut File Chaos, where we kill their cut file stash. Now today I'm using that cut file you see right there. It is a cardstock cut from Not Just for Boys Kit Club. They will send you pre-cut cut files, which is awesome. So I decided to kind of dive into my past Not Just for Boys kits and kind of use up some of them that I still had left. I think the very first one I worked with was a Limitless kit, and it was kind of like a back to school theme. And so I pulled out some of those pieces. My back to school photos were kind of in that seafoam color palette, so I decided to go with those. The backpack paper is Pink Fresh Studio. It was not from the kit, but I've been hoarding it. As you can tell, it's like an old collection and I still haven't used it, so I'm going to use it today. And I still hadn't scrapbooked the back to school pictures of Lachlan. I had done a few of them of Heath and some of both of them, but I hadn't done just Lachlan. So I decided to use this seafoam solid cardstock, and then I'm kind of going to layer those two Pink Fresh Studio papers up and then put the cut file layered on top of the photo like this. And I wanted to say be kind and brilliant, and so the be kind is this rose gold thicker kind of thing, and so I decide to use that as a jumping off point, and I'm going to use my rose gold ink that you see over there by Colorbox, and I'm going to use ink blending and do an ombre technique on the brilliant cardstock cut. I'm also going to use that Wow embossing powder. It's like a copper glitter color. And so I was just using a test piece of paper to make sure that this ink blended well, and it blended very beautifully. But since the cut file is like already cut, you do have to just be a little bit careful. So I'm kind of doing more of a tapping technique rather than an ink blending round motion. But it works beautifully, just doing it on top of my glass mat, which is easy to clean up. And I'm leaving it white along the bottom for like a nice little ombre technique. And I was going to use that another blending brush to add that Wow embossing ink that you see in the ink pad over there. But then I remembered that I have the Wow pen. So that would be way easier. So I don't know if you've seen, I don't know the name of them, but they're like kind of paintings, and they have running through the middle of them is like just a really nice glitter strand. So that's kind of like the theme or the like idea I was going for here with this. So I'm just kind of making us zigzag of coloring the embossing ink through the middle of the ombre ink blended word, and then I'm going to add that copper glitter heat embossing powder, and so I'll just be like a nice little strip right there through the middle, and I am really happy with how it ended up looking. So this, like I said, is a series where Sarah and I kind of use the cut files that we have in our stash or in our digital stash and just create using cut files. And so I love to use cut files, but I sometimes am lazy and I don't want to get out my Cricut, and so this is the perfect solution for that is to order them already pre-cut. And I know Sarah's really good about going through and kind of cutting them batch in a batch. I'm not so good at that, but this is kind of the same idea, is that getting them from Not Just for Boys Kit Club already pre-cut, and that's perfect. And then you can jazz them up any way you want, just like this. So there is the title, Be Kind and Brilliant, and it's going to sit atop the photo just like that. And so I was trying to figure out exactly how I want to do it, but I'm going to go with my tried and true. I do this design a lot where I just kind of do a strip of torn paper at the top. So ain't broke, don't fix it. So that's what I'm going with here. So I'm finally tearing into that backpack paper. It's from So Cool by Pink Fresh Studio. And then I also wanted to use this rainbow stripe, and it is from Good Times, I think, and it's also by Pink Fresh Studio. So their collections go together really well, and all the colors will mix and match beautifully, even though that one was like a back to school collection and one was like an autumn collection. And so I decided just to make it a little more back to school and to include the rose gold, kind of bring it up at the top of the page to make it not be so random as only in the title. I'm going to use that same ink to ink up some cardstock, and then I'm going to use that cardstock to use my edge cutter here that's like kind of notebook paper. So that's just going to be an additional border that I'm going to stick between those two pattern papers up at the top, and so it will bring that rose gold color kind of up into the top of the page to bring cohesion to the layout. Also, I've seen Sarah's layout today and it is absolutely stunning. So make sure to check that out. I'm going to link her channel down below. And if you came from her channel, hi and welcome and thank you. And please like and follow. So that's kind of like the idea we got going here. Before I assemble it, I'm going to back my photo in some white cardstock. And then I also went through just random die cuts that I had, die cut ephemera, and pulled out some pieces that I thought would work, that worked with the colors, that worked with the kind of school theme. So I think it's time to start assembling. That was like a little card, a big card, and it had an alphabet on it. That number collection is from Citrus Twist kits. A lot of those pieces are from Citrus Twist, and the colors just worked really beautifully with these Pink Fresh Studio collections that I'm using here. That says time for, I think. I end up using that. I do it off screen actually. I put first, so you could kind of know it's first. The letter board in the photo kind of gives you all the info. Plus, I'm going to do a pocket page in between this layout and Heath's layout that will have either of their other photos that I took that day, because of course I don't just take like 1 or 2 photos, I take like a ton of first day of school photos. So those will go in the pocket pages and kind of have the details, and I'll put some journaling in that. So that's why there's no journaling on this layout. So I'm just layering that stripe beneath the backpack one, and you can see a little bit of the cardstock showing through, but that's okay because I'm just going to stick that little border piece in there to hide that cardstock and just peek out there with that rose gold color. And if you hear background noise, I'm sorry. I'm getting my voiceover done before the kids got home, and one of them I think is singing in the shower. And it's through the wall, you can hear it. So it actually, I think it's Lachlan who is in that photo. So I'm trying to color there. I had smudged some of the rose gold ink onto the white paper, and I was bumming, and I was gonna color it with my white pen, and then I was like, nope, just kidding. I'm just gonna stick those books on top of it. Boom, problem solved. So now I'm gonna stick down the border or the piece behind the photo, and then the photo, and then I'm doing that with just like my ATG gun or AGT gun, I don't know. Anyway, and then I'll use my Nuvo adhesive to stick down the cardstock cut that is from Not Just for Boys. I'll link down below to Not Just for Boys. Their kits are fabulous. You should definitely check them out. And then layer on top of that the thickers. I will also add additional adhesive to those just to make sure that they don't fall off. Speaking of the links down below, I will also put my affiliate links for a cherry on top, which is my favorite craft store, and a few more affiliate links of products that I use. I wouldn't tell you about them if I didn't love them and use them. So I will link them down below. And if you see anything and you have questions, please let me know. I love it to get comments, and I will respond. So for the last few little ephemera bit pieces, I'm just going to pop them up on some pop dots. I'm just trimming off those bits over there on the side. And so I just used a few pop dots to pop up the books, and then I'll do the numbers, and then off screen I do end up doing that little border piece I spoke of earlier, just to put the word first on there so that we know this was first grade without having to squint to look at the board that I have him posing with, which is my Heidi Swap letter board. And I think we're gonna call it a layout. There it is. So check out Sarah's video and link down below, and any of the products that I've used that I can link, I will link in the description as well. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'd love it if you'd like and subscribe. Bye, y'all.